if I'm quote unquote spreading it, I'm spreading it to people who are vaccinated, who are supposed to be immune now because of the vaccination. So again, it comes down to you don't take a vaccine to protect your neighbor. You take a vaccine to protect yourself. Your neighbor takes a vaccine to protect himself. And this is not it's not rocket science. You don't have to be an expert in epidemiology or immunology or virology or whatever to figure that out. It's and if I'm wrong, explain to me why I'm wrong. But nobody wants to explain to me why I'm wrong. They just want to insult me.
Yeah, and that's, something I've been seeing a lot of that. What is your level of expertise with virology or all that? No, I don't have to have expertise in any particular medical science. The medical scientists have to be able to explain it to me in layman's terms that I can understand.
Yeah,
That's what's going on. Will they do? Well, guess what? I'm not satisfied with the answer. So I don't trust. For me, it's a lot of lack of trust too. Like when you think about how many times we've been lied to by not only the government but the state agencies of the government, why would you ever believe them? What have they done to earn your trust? I mean, how many times have you got to be told that the sky is falling and we're all going to die, only to find out it's not true before you say, "Wait a minute, you told me some pretty scary stuff before, and it turned out to be nothing but Chicken Little. Why am I believing you now?" And when you start raising those questions, you get called all kinds of horrible things, and you better have a mighty thick skin because it isn't going to end anytime soon.
Well, here's my answer to the people who ask me whether what are my credentials, in vaccinations, and you're not a doctor, and I go, well, you're right, I'm not a doctor, but I know when I know how to diagnose a fever. I don't have to be a doctor to know when I have a fever or when my kids had a fever when they were young. And guess what? I didn't have to be a doctor to know how to treat a fever. If it was persistent and it was very high, I'd know, okay, I better go and see a doctor because there may be an underlying thing here that needs to be treated. But generally, people have a fever when they have a mild illness, and you treat the fever. And it's not the end of the world. So newsflash, I'm not a doctor, but I knew I drank too much when my head was hanging over the toilet bowl when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Didn't need a medical degree, thank you very much. And newsflash, 2 + 2 = 4. And I arrived at that profound conclusion without ever having taken a university course in mathematics, which, by the way, is not entirely true. I did take statistics, but I don't have a degree in mathematics, but I can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Guess what? I can even do calculus. What is this idea that you have to be an expert in order to apply basic common sense to your decisions?
Well, the problem with we've discussed what's happened to common sense many times. We both know the answer. It ran down the highway with its head on fire, screaming it was never coming back, and we haven't seen it since because it certainly is not of overabundant quantity. But even when you try to point that out, they say, "Yeah, who's common sense?" Oh, brother, are you serious? So it's a circular argument that gets a little frustrating sometimes.
Well, all I know is, Nick, what I saw on the weekend from down there in the States, I have to tell you, if the experts, if the dire prognostications of the so-called experts turn out to be true, then I could pretty much assure you that Las Vegas is going to be a zombie land within a couple of weeks.
Now,
and if it doesn't turn out that way, even if there are people that went to that ball game and came away testing positive, okay, well, that's the risk that they took. And that risk is going to exist whether they were vaccinated or not vaccinated. It might be reduced, but you want to go to the game. You maybe you're going to pick up COVID, but you may also pick up a common cold. You may pick up the flu, etc., etc., etc. Nick, I'm watching the time here, Nick.
Are we running out again?
Yeah, we're running out of time here again, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
So
I don't think we're going to win this fight tonight, but
no. It's just interesting for us to talk about and for our listeners to listen and participate in.
There you go.
What can I say?
You can say goodnight.
I could say goodnight. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Another great episode of the Nick and Joe Show. Don't forget to share this with your friends, because remember, if you don't listen to it live, it's always available as a podcast on your favorite podcast network. So, if you missed any of this, maybe you joined us halfway through. Go back and listen to the whole thing right from the beginning again. And tweet it out. Share it on Facebook.
Please tweet it out.
Instagram. TikTok. Okay,
and you don't even have to have a clock for that.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. Over to you, Nick.
All right. With that said, we'll bow out of your evening and give you back what's left of it, folks. Ubi caritas et amor, Deus ibi est. Good evening. God bless. Don't let anything disturb your peace, and may you have a fair wind in the following sea.